Good afternoon, YouTube. My name is Dan, aka aDrive, and I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos. Now we are week 7 of the GBA, rocking an impressive 5-1 record, but we are coming off a first loss of the season to none other than the New Orleans Pelippers. So I want to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about our matchup against Shady Penguin and the New York Mankeys, which is coming up this week. Now you may be wondering why we're on the beach today for this press conference, and I will get to that in just a moment. So the New Orleans Pelippers came out and defeated us 3-0 last week in the GBA, sporting an impressive offensive prowess with Pokemon like Kyurem and Staraptor and so on and so forth. But the big stopper was the Mega Venusaur and the Sylveon, 2 Pokemon that we did not prepare enough for. So, as the coach of the St. Louis Rampardos and the owner of the organization, I wanted to reach out to my fans and apologize for the lack of preparation that we failed to show, or the preparation we failed to show in Week 6 against the New Orleans Pelippers. Now, moving forward, of course, congratulations to John on his victory. Now, moving forward, Shady Penguin and the New York Mankeys, our next opponent here in the GBA. Now, if you remember, towards the beginning of the season, we did come out with a victory against Shady Penguin, a 1-0, showing off a little bit of, luck is really what it came down to. And I was criticized throughout the entire season leading up to this point that I only won because of luck. So now it is our chance and our opportunity as the St. Louis Rampardos to come out and pull out a victory without luck. So of course, Shady and I are good pals, and I wish him the best. But I feel very confident going into this week. Confident enough that I sent my team and we decided to take a nice little beach trip and enjoy this beautiful sunny day here on the beach with the starting lineup, which you can see behind me. Now, I'm going to go through each Pokemon individually and talk a little bit about why I'm using them and so on and so forth and my logic behind that. And hopefully you guys find it to be informative and helpful, and the press is happy with my answers. Kicking off our lineup this week is going to be none other than Mega Sableye. Now, the St. Louis Rampardos are undefeated when Mega Sableye starts, and this week will hopefully be no different. Now, Mega Sableye is going to be rocking an impressive moveset featuring an adamant nature with just enough, with almost max attack, really, with enough attack EVs to OHKO Azelf with a Sucker Punch to start off the match. Now, if you remember our Week 1 matchup, Azelf is his only Pokemon that does learn a Fairy move as far as I know, and it is perhaps the best counter Shady can offer to Mega Sableye. So we're going to try to eliminate it on the first turn of the match, going for Sucker Punch. Now, I have shown the trend of always leading every match with Mega Sableye, and this week will be no different. I don't think there is a particular lineup that he could bring that will result me in not bringing in Mega Sableye as my lead. So we're going to be rocking Sucker Punch and Knock Off 2 Dark-type stabs. The Knock Off is there for other Pokemon to potentially provide some team support and hit something pretty hard, actually, because of the adamant max or near max attack statistic. We're also going to be rocking Recover to boost our survivability, especially against Pokemon like Conkeldurr, which really cannot touch Mega Sableye. And our last move was originally Will-O-Wisp, but we have switched it out for Fire Punch. The reason for this is because I was thinking about the potential of Scissor having the ability to set up in front of Mega Sableye, and we do not want that to happen, of course, so we're going to be rocking Fire Punch, which will do about 50 to 60% to a bulky Mega Scissor set. Now, moving on to our next Pokemon, we're going to be rocking Terrakion. So Terrakion is coming once again in his debut last season against John, was able to pick up 2 kills and almost beat the New Orleans Pelippers. Had that Sigilyph not had Focus Sash, or not the ability Magic Guard, obviously, what ifs, Terrakion would have theoretically defeated the rest of his team with close combat, and we would have won 1-0. So, very, very close match last week. I was not disappointed with the way we played. I was disappointed with my team preparation. But Terrakion is back once again, yet again, rocking a Choice Scarf Terrakion, which has just enough speed to outspeed Choice Scarf Jolly Garchomp in case he brings it for some reason, which means, barring any other Choice Scarfers like Superior or Azelf, Terrakion does outspeed Shady's entire team, and hits everything incredibly hard with close combat, Poison Jab, Stone Edge, and Rock Slide. Now you might be wondering why both Rock Slide and Stone Edge. I don't want to miss. So in a crucial situation, I will be clicking Rock Slide. If I have a little bit of leeway, we might be clicking Stone Edge if it's the only way I can get a kill, because that extra base power could make a difference. Now our next Pokemon is going to be Chansey. Now you see Chansey dancing along behind me. He's very, very happy, being one of the top Pokemon in the MVP race this season so far, and Chansey has shown its ability to not only wall Pokemon from the defensive side, but also, as intended, the especially defensive side. So this week with Chansey, we're going to be rocking Counter Soft Boiled Seismic Toss, and Toxic. Toxic is specifically there for Pokemon like Serperior, Milotic, so I cannot be walled by them, because otherwise I don't really have an option. By getting a Toxic off, that's going to basically limit the survivability as opposed to running Thunder Wave, which in the past I've been running, but I'm switching it up for Toxic this week, hoping to catch that Milotic, poison it. While I will boast his defenses, it will basically put a timer on any Pokemon trying to go up against Chansey, and it's going to be very difficult for him to one-shot Chansey. I don't believe there's a single Pokemon on his team, maybe Choice Band and Conkeldurr, but even that is pushing it because Chansey has quite a bit of bulk, especially with that Eviolite. Now our next Pokemon is going to be none other than Rotom Wash. Now you might see Rotom Wash behind me taking care of the laundry this week while we were on the beach, because that is what he does best. But what he's going to be doing this week is rocking a dual screen light clay set. So I have tried to bring this so far in the GBA, and it hasn't been very effective yet. I haven't needed to use it, and last week against John, it almost gave me the opening I needed, but hopefully running dual screens with light clay, Hydro Pump, and Volt Switch will allow me to get up those screens and send in my next two Pokemon, which I will be talking about in just a moment. Now I'm running a fully defensive Rotom Wash set, and hopefully this is really my big counter to his Rotom Heat, so I have to keep that in mind as well, because if he brings the heat, it's going to be very challenging for me to come out on top. Now my next Pokemon is going to be the defining factor for this week, and truthfully the reason why we're basking in the sun today. I am bringing fully defensive Heat Rock Mew this week. Let that sink in for a moment. We're going to be rocking Stealth Rocks and Sunny Day, Flamethrower and Psyshock for Conkeldurr. Now you might be thinking, aDrive has gone absolutely insane, but perhaps I will shed some light or some sunlight on the issue here. Now my next Pokemon was our free agent pickup as we dropped Kling Klang and picked up none other than Vileplume. Now Vileplume did have a rocky start last week against John and the New Orleans Pelippers, but this week I look for it to do huge things against Shady Penguin and potentially come in late game and absolutely clean up with a sweep if all goes well. Now Vileplume does get the ability Chlorophyll, which doubles his speed in the sunlight, so having 8 turns of sun through Mew is going to allow Vileplume to outspeed everything on Shady's team, having just enough speed to outspeed max speed Azelf. Now obviously Choice Scarf users follow this plan, but that is to be expected. I can't really counter for that, but what I can counter for is the fact that this Vileplume is rocking a Modest Nature with Expert Belt, carrying Solar Beam, Sludge Bomb, Moonblast, and HP Fire. Now after Stealth Rocks, barring any unforeseen EV spreads, Vileplume actually does OHKO pretty much everything on Shady's team, and 2-hit KOs the Milotic with Solar Beam. It actually will probably do enough to knock it out after a little bit of chip damage, and if he's running physically defensive Milotic. That is the plan for this week, ladies and gentlemen. We are bringing something a little bit different, inspired by Old Man Sup last week and the Pittsburgh Piratas, bringing the sun against Shady. We are going to do the exact same thing, and I guarantee you, Shady will not see it coming. Now, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this beautiful day on the beach, but before I do that, let's talk a little bit about Shady's team and what I expect him to bring, and why I set up my team the way I did. Now, Shady has an impressive lineup, and don't mind me looking at my note card here because I don't remember everything, but I know he is carrying Mega Scissor, which obviously I have quite a few fire checks for. I know he is carrying Pokemon like Serperior, which is always a threat. He also has Pokemon Milotic. Milotic is going to be pretty much forced to carry Ice Beam this week because he knows Vileplume is likely to show up into the battle, and he will likely want to have something for Nidoqueen as well. Serperior is obviously a huge threat. He's probably going to have to run HP Rock on Serperior to counteract Volcarona, which I brought against him in the first matchup. Now, Pokemon like Galvantula I don't expect to see, simply because the Sticky Web will hurt him more than help him, especially against my slow team here, and having the chance of it getting bounced back without him having a reliable Rapid Spinner or Defogger aside from Mega Scissor really plays into my factor that I don't really have to prepare for Pokemon like Galvantula. Excuse me. Pokemon like Ambipom, who have proven to be one of Shady's most offensive foes, don't scare me in the slightest because, again, they are walled pretty much in their entirety by Mega Sableye. My defensive core has proven to be a mainstay in the GBA this season, proven to be the best defensive core without question in the GBA. And last week, I made the mistake of breaking them apart. Now, we're going to bring them back together, of course, against Shady Penguin in a rematch, and this is a match to basically define the division that we stand in. If you don't know, Shady and myself are both tied at 5-1, and whoever wins this week will take the division lead and probably not look back. So this is my biggest match this season as it is for Shady, and I'm sure the Shady people are looking for revenge after their week, I believe, 3 loss against the St. Louis Rampardos due to hacks. Now, of course, I wish for a hacksless battle against Shady, as he is my pal, but I do hope that we are able to come out on top of the victory as the St. Louis Rampardos run and head smash through our opponents. Pokemon like Regirock don't really make sense either, and neither does a Pokemon like, I really don't see Galvantula, Ambipom, or Regirock coming to the match. That really limits Shady's options, so I'm going to predict his lineup as being the same exact lineup he brought against us in the first matchup, potentially swapping Honchkrow for Rotom Heat as the only adjustment. Garchomp might make an appearance, but I'm not too concerned about it, as I do have Rotom Wash physically defensive, Mew physically defensive, Terrakion which outspeeds, Moonblasting Vileplume, and of course Chansey could take hits, not to mention the fear of getting burned by Sableye, which is always a huge fear. Ideally, this match opens up with Shady leading with his Zelf and me sucker punching it to take a quick 5-6 lead. We will see how things play out. Of course, the St. Louis Rampardos are going to do our best. If you guys like the team and you want to support, please hit that thumbs up button for me below. We'll be rolling out our St. Louis Rampardos t-shirts very shortly, so keep an eye out on that in the description as well. You'll have an opportunity to pick up your St. Louis Rampardos t-shirt, which you can see on the screen right over there. You'll see the little opaque image. So those will be rolled out very, very soon, probably in time for this week's matchup against Shady. Please hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy. My name is Dan. I am the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos. Let's make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. Peace.